The energy crisis must be solved. We've had 2 episodes in a row. This is the 3rd one, with it going the opposite direction of my intention. So I suppose it's time this episode to figure out all the things now that the war is just about over. Hello, Legion. This is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Stellaris, Ancient Relics, in our Legacy of the Forerunners series. So as we kick things off, just a reminder, this unemployed pop is as a result of... Actually, no, this is not the one that I thought it was. I remember last episode we had a specialist unemployment situation, given that I had just converted a building on a planet and freed up some specialists from their jobs. But this is not that planet. So he's just going to have to wait till I can build something else. There's 2 pops until I will have the ability to do that. So, oh wait, no, that's, no. Yeah, still 2 pops. Okay, 13. Until we'll have the ability to do that. That's jobs, that's pops. Anyway, I know how to play Stellaris. Let's close out sectors for a moment. And like I said, we're going to do everything we can. As a matter of fact, I'm going to spend the first several moments of this episode just keeping this paused. We do have some new shipyards being built, so that's going to add some maintenance, and the energy credits will go the other way a little bit. We also have to keep an eye on food this episode too, so kind of juggling a few different priorities. But I'm going to do everything I can to get our economy in good shape now that we're finally occupying the space that I said I wanted to occupy. Which reminds me, we do still have to take the rest of this arm, but now that we're done out here, we really can start moving in that direction. So let's go ahead and give those orders. And I'm not going to give the order yet to have those built because I want them to actually travel first, and that'll give us a little bit of time to build up more influence. We are also waiting on influence so that we can reform our government, which is going to cost 250. So that's kind of a tough call because we have an archaeological site that could potentially be very useful for us. There are some additional energy credits and trade value resources in this arm. So there's pros and cons to capturing all of this now or waiting for potentially the 250 influence first so that we can reform our government. Reform our government. Words. Talking too fast. I never do that. Why would I suddenly start doing that this episode? That's never been a problem for me. So, yeah, what we're going to do, I think, as much as I would like to reform the government as soon as possible and get rid of this notification, we're going to go ahead and start taking these systems. Because I'm seeing 8 energy there, 2 energy there, 4 energy there, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2. Lots of energy, as well as the archaeological site. I think we will probably be able to get more out of capturing that before we go for that influence boost. And hey, we might still get a large lump sum from some other source. So Churgamore is done here. This is going to be one easy way to gain some additional energy. So let's build 2 trade hubs immediately. And Task Force Campus is in orbit around the Vajra station. Let's go ahead and jump up to speed 3. Damage. We are not able to take on the shard yet, but we'll be able to... I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen before the series goes on break. It might. But I would imagine maybe 5 more episodes or so of build-up and other stuff, and we'll be able to finally take out the shard. We're almost there. Not as far away as we once were. Pause. You're supposed to be paused a second ago. All right, so we can salvage the materials, or we can gain 50 influence right off the bat. Yeah, let's go ahead and gain 50 influence right off the bat, because we still have a ridiculous amount of spare materials, and we have a new research project we can choose. Yep, I'm going to go ahead and go for some of the cheaper projects and just get them off the list. And you are a trade hub. I've already got a off-world trading company built there. Off-world trading company built there. So we have our ships on the way. We have lots of influence now to incorporate those systems. Strong energy emissions of an unknown origin make this asteroid stand out from the rest of its peers in this crowded asteroid field.
Concluded.
Find out why. All right, Tentramoda. Oh, perfect. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of help. Let's go ahead and build an energy grid, which ironically increases. It does increase upkeep by 1, but then this helps with all of my power production on this planet. Still don't have anything for that specialist, unfortunately. Well, I might. Hang on, let's see. We have 8 available jobs. Let's take a closer look at which jobs are available. Oh, yes, that's right. Okay, we're not having economic woes at the moment, but I'm remembering the importance of prioritizing some of these from earlier in the series. It looks like what we prioritized early on is no longer actually selected. I'm not sure why that is. Or maybe I'm thinking of... No, that wasn't Roma Galactica 2. All right, good. Food processing facilities is done. Yeah, I don't know where that was, but we had a number of worlds, all of our worlds, actually, in this series, prioritized based on subscriber input, based on... prioritized in terms of energy jobs, so that those jobs would, be focused on by any people that needed to go be employed, and then they would produce energy credits for me, and that would fix my economy. Because there was a lot of oscillation early on with between different resources. It's like people couldn't figure out where they wanted to work, and now it seems like that has either, I don't know, it's either in another series or those specializations have been removed. What are we looking at here? Exotic gases we'll need to keep an eye on, but we're doing okay, I think. Naval capacity plus 30. That's really expensive. Ooh, commerce megaplexes. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That'll help with energy, because it'll produce trade value. Asteroid X009 is pockmarked with craters from weapons blasts and appears to have been used as a target range by someone roughly 2 millennia ago. Nice. Okay, so really quickly, let's take a look at policies and where we might be able to do better here. Right now we have Marketplace of Ideas set up. So trade value is not as robust as it could be in terms of producing energy. It's currently cut in half. We could set it to wealth creation, and that would double the amount that we are making from trade. So if we look at this, yeah. That would definitely fix our deficit. But is it worth it to lose the extra unity we're gaining from that? I'll keep that in mind by the end of the episode if we haven't turned the energy situation around. I'll keep that in mind. I'm still relatively optimistic.
Construction project concluded. System survey concluded.
All right, consumer goods we're going to have to keep an eye on as well. Let's go through our existing planets, because these possibilities in terms of what can be upgradable don't always show themselves as much as you would like them to.
Construction project concluded.
Right, we are absolutely going to... Yeah, that adds a lot when you upgrade that, but we need that in order to do some of the other upgrades that will help the planet grow faster. Speaking of which, now if I do this, this is actually going to take away from my already zeroed out exotic gases income. We have lots of exotic gases to spare, though, and that's going to help the planet grow. And I need the planet to grow so that I could have more citizens. That way more citizens might be able to work energy jobs and produce energy and fix my problem. So,
system survey concluded.
We're just going to have to continue to make sacrifices. We can't...
Research concluded.
We're doing well enough that we can make some decisions that do cost us energy in the short term and that will help us make up energy in the long term. Okay, Hyperdrive 3 is done, so we'll have some upgrades to do before long. Let's see. Proton launchers, 0-point reactor. Yep, let's go ahead and go for the 0-point reactor. Nelvadris. You have some possibilities, maybe. Not really. Yeah, I don't know that I want to build anything here because it's just going to add to the energy deficit. But we do need to solve... Yeah, let's do a food processing facility because this is there's a lot of food processing going on Nelvadris, the capital world, and that would actually boost that considerably. Concluded. Let's see, we have an election coming up, which we don't want to influence. So that's just going to happen when it happens. Let's go ahead and build a starbase there. Other construction ships are on the way.
System survey concluded.
All right, so the Cytine station doesn't need anything else built at the moment. The Hatram station also does not. Churgamore station is done with this first trade hub, which means we can queue up the off-world trading company. I'm going to give the order to upgrade Task Force Campus. We are absolutely going to extend our deal with these guys, but in order to do it, we're going to need to sell some minerals. We need to maintain a lot more than that. Hang on. There we go. Okay. A little bit better. I'm amazed this war is still going on. What exactly are the Huvudazan doing? I mean, they're clearly just demolishing the Lozavata. We're going to win the war, but they're dragging it out as long as they can, which is kind of annoying. Oh, engineering project. Let's see. I mean, how many robot pops do I even have? Okay, we're assembling them there. So pops-wise, we're looking at... I don't have droids yet, so I have no specialist robots. But workers-wise, we've got a few here. Okay. Do I have any on other worlds? There shouldn't be. Any other worlds assembling aside from that one? No. Okay, so we're not going to worry about that just yet. Cruiser hull points plus 500. That might be time for that. Or the habitat. Let's go ahead and research the habitat simply because it might unlock additional options.
System survey concluded.
Fairly soon.
Horizons expanded.
Okay. Now we are producing more food here too, so let's go ahead and do food processing facilities. Again, trying to offset that a little bit.
Construction project concluded.
Energy situation's getting better, but I'm not in love with the general trajectory of things. I'm going to do something I almost never do this late in the game. I'm not going to worry about building these stations that aren't
supplied.
Energy stations. That aren't, I'm not going to worry about building anything other than energy stations in this arm of the galaxy. Because it doesn't make sense. Commerce Megaplexes is done. Good. So we can start upgrading those before long. The Alien Zoo. Ooh. If I have any worlds where those are possible, then I definitely want to do that. Alright, so the Commerce Megaplexes can now be built. I actually don't have very many of that building type to begin with. That's annoying. Yeah, I actually don't have that many of those, so that's one way to definitely solve the energy situation. It's just create more trade value via...
Construction project concluded.
What's the base building called? Why can I not remember what the base building is called? Commercial zone, which upgrades into the Commerce Megaplex. So we build the commercial zone.
Construction project concluded.
And those will actually help. All right, food-wise, we are plummeting, though. So we're going to have to pause for a moment. Out of nowhere, food is just bottoming out. Before the end of this episode, I might be taking back what I said about being in a good place. Let's see. Why don't we sell that many alloys? And then buy that much food. And then sell... I don't want to go crazy selling minerals. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to have to hold off on getting above 5,000 energy. Alright, so you're here. The next... Okay.
System survey concluded.
Build a starbase there. Need to get that problem solved so we can then solve the food issue. Now, let's go back to policies for a minute and see if... Yeah, right now we have dietary balance set up. So we could reduce pop food upkeep, but it would slow down pop growth and biological pop happiness. The pop happiness penalty would penalize production across the board, except where robots are working. And we don't have robots widespread enough for that to have a really nice net positive effect. So I'm not going to worry about it. All right, we're going to get these built. And again, just going to focus on collecting the energy that we can from these new systems. Don't need starbase capacity +2 yet. I guess we'll go for selected lineages to help with our leaders. I mean, not really a lot of great options there from that particular research list. Okay, you are collecting a little bit of trade, so let's do an off-world trading company there. That's barely going to help, but I mean, it's there. Of course, another solution that we have, going back to what I was saying about actually going more into debt in order to fix our debt later on, We could just colonize. Like, we can pick the best possible world. Like, for instance, this one. This Tundra world, 20 slots. Or Zondaban 2, 22 slots. Just some of the largest worlds. Maybe even some with rare resources. Let's have a quick look, shall we? Yeah, there's an isolated valley here, so Intham 3 could be a good colony. Crystalline caverns would also help us. How are we doing with crystals? That could actually be a good idea, but it would hurt our energy deficit in the short term. Make it worse. Let's go ahead and colonize, and we have to send some in order to really take advantage of this world, we have to send some non-Oranathi pops. So we might have to genetically modify the Hiren to really take advantage of the world, which is fine. We genetically modified the Oranathi at the end of the last episode, so let's go ahead and build a... Yeah, we're going to call this Burga. I went with that because it's a bird species that we're sending. All right, Durham Denvatoris has died. One of our more venerable scientists. We don't have any to outright replace them, so let's see. Yeah, custom AI assistants. Sounds like a good idea. Let's put you back out and looking around. Also, okay, still waiting on these to finish. They'll be done in a few seconds, and then we can build these.
Construction project
We don't have enough
concluded.
influence to add more systems, though. Oh, interesting. We actually have... I don't know why that jumped up to 5, but I'll take it.
Construction project
And that jumped
concluded.
up to 3. Maybe we have a special modifier at the moment. Let's see. Mining station output plus 10%, which means when this leader dies and Valdrig Dentarab is 89, we could have a problem.
System survey
We could have a
concluded.
giant problem. I'm glad I spotted that, but I'm also kind of annoyed I spotted that because now I'm even more anxious. Okay.
Construction project
Well-
concluded.
Also, guys, will you wrap up the war, please? Yeah, research that. I don't know what's taking them so long. All right, as soon as I have the opportunity, I'm going to build some commerce zones. Alien drag racing, yay, don't care. All right, healthcare edict campaign has expired. Let's go ahead and renew that. And of course, that does mean we have to once again sell ridiculous amounts of things. Man, look at the difference. I'm going to sell 500 volatile modes. Getting a little bit dicey here in Legacy of the Forerunners.
Project concluded.
Yeah, more than a little bit dicey. Nothing to do here because there's no trade value to be collected. We have that new colony on the way, which is of course going to affect energy negatively in a couple of ways until it's built. But it might work out in the long term. There's a lot that we can do with the space that we have. Actually, you come here and I want you to build that mining station. That's one thing.
Construction project concluded.
Okay, so it looks like we've encountered another... Yeah, these are just more Marauders. The Sidamatus Marauders are down here, so the old Marauders are up there. And then the ones we just met are here. Archaeological site discovered. Where? Okay. In a place that does not matter to me. Color me unimpressed.
Science ship sustaining damage.
What? Where? Okay, so they must have jumped into some unfriendly territory. Hopefully they'll resolve that before long. All right, energy getting better.
System survey
Food,
concluded.
not so much. Let us continue. The moats must flow. What are we looking at right now? Can I see on this list which deal I have? I don't think I can. That's the one frustrating thing, is that right now the way this is set up, when you have to renew this deal with the merchant enclaves, you don't actually know, unless you remember, which one you were running previously. I'm trying to see if I can just look at this and see. Yeah, I don't... There's nothing listed there. So right now we're producing how many volatile motes per month? 9? That's pretty damn good. I think what I'm going to do is just pick something fairly minimal. We're going to do 1 volatile mote per month. Say goodbye. All right, in 5 days, we'll see if that has a positive effect.
Research concluded.
Not really. So I guess we're already doing the minimum. All right, habitats are buildable. That's good. We don't really have the influence to start building habitats yet, but it's still a step in the right direction. Let's go ahead and go for more hull points on destroyers. Umara! Okay, now you're able to build something useful. So let's get an energy grid built here.
Construction project concluded.
Or maybe even before we get the energy grid built, the better thing to do would be to build a commercial zone. So let's do that instead. We could even replace the other energy grids that we have on small worlds.
Another day, another scientific
with commercial zones and see if that helps. All right, food from farmers plus 20%. Probably time for that, I would imagine. Yeah, we're going to do that. It's 10 months away. Oh no. All these deals are running up at the same freaking time. This is the worst. This is just additional monthly unity. You know what? While we have this big of an energy crisis, I'm going to say no deal. And even more than that, because we have to turn and address food, I'm going to go ahead and pull out all the stops. This is really going to affect my unity production, but it is what it is. We're going to go for a civilian economy. Oh, no, not a civilian economy. No. Trade policy. We're going to go for wealth creation. So what that means is that in 4 days, we're going to see a pretty dramatic jump in our energy credits, and then we're going to see this number go down because we're no longer splitting our trade value between wealth and unity. So 8 and 415 just became 88 and 350. Okay, energy deficit solved. Not the way I wanted to solve it. Tried to solve it otherwise, but that fixes that problem quite handily. And now we can focus on things like consumer goods and food. And I think... Oh, no, that's right. Now we're starting a new tree here. So we can go for diplomacy if we wanted to, or we can go for harmony. Now this would reduce food consumption just by adopting it. So it seems like that is automatically the thing I should go for right now. I'm not even going to think about that any further because that's going to make a tremendous impact on food consumption. Let's also go ahead and build a starbase there. All right, now we're down to negative 32. We're looking at consumer goods and food that we need to work on. Okay, let's do commercial zones here as well. Still going to work on the commercial zones. It's going to, I mean, I would love to have more energy in general. We already have lots of minerals. One way to solve the issue without actually going the route of changing my, this would be really micro. I don't think I've ever done this in a Stellaris playthrough, either on or off YouTube. One way to have solved it.
Mining station offline.
Where? Oh, here? All right, so we got a Marauder fleet coming in to say hello. That was unexpected and kind of annoying. But let's have... okay, these guys are all following. So let's send these guys in. Yeah, these are Marauders. So we've got to go confront them. It's going to take us a while to reach them. But yeah, one thing I could have done, as I was saying, is I could have just gone in and deleted some of my mineral
survey concluded.
Stations. That would be one way to solve it. But the downside of that, of course... Right, we have more specialists unemployed here. Why the specialist unemployment? It's not adding up to me. Our energy surplus went down there because our fleet has left orbit, but it didn't go in the negative again, which is good. Let's go ahead and go for tachyon sensors, but...
Receiving transmission.
commercial pact invitation from the Hubudazan conglomerate. Well, that's kind of a big deal. Let's go ahead and say agree.
Research.
So we've got some new branch office being set up by the conglomerate. And that, in 25 days or so, should make a pretty big impact on food. What else can we do? Let's go ahead and research that tile blocker. Yeah, what is going on with the specialist unemployment? That's not making sense to me. As to why the specialists are suddenly unemployed on more than one world.
Offline.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on it.
System survey concluded.
All right, so we actually have to intercept them more directly. Let's go ahead and give the order just to attack them head on. And once this combat is over, we will step away from this episode. We're back up to full on minerals, and our food shortage is almost gone, but now we have a consumer goods problem, ironically. All right, so improved destroyer hulls. We could fix it by using civilian replicomplexes, so I think I'm going to continue my string of obvious choices. Yeah, food is considerably better now. Tordaga is actually being blockaded at the moment, which is thoroughly annoying. All right, consumer goods is going to be out in 12 months. Exotic gases in 15.
Initializing hostile
However,
engagement protocols.
We can go ahead and sell. I'm going to sell 10,000 minerals. I know that's a little bit overkill, but I would like to buy a considerable number. Here, we're actually going to buy this. We're going to do this twice. Okay. So now Grand Herald has arrived, backed up by our fleet. This will be fun to watch. They were dumb enough to jump in here with their marauding fleet.
Initial colonization phase commencing. Research
okay, there's
concluded.
that. Mystery production. Produces amenity and unities. Naval cap, also probably a good idea. Leader upkeep reduction. Nothing with regard to food. However, fleet command limit plus 20 is pretty handy at the moment. That'll increase my ability to have large ships in one fleet, so that I can take on, say, the Shard. All right, so this combat is just about done.
Concluded.
All right, so we wiped the floor with them. Let this be a lesson to their kind. And on that note, I will stop this episode here. We have resolved the energy crisis as promised. We now have a slight food crisis and still an ongoing consumer goods issue. But because we're researching civilian replica complexes, that's a hard one. Civilian replica complexes. It's the pl. You have two plus sounds within 3 syllables of each other. Yeah. Anyway, now that we're researching those, we will finally, I think, be able to kind of turn the tide in the next episode or two and maybe focus on building more ships as long as it doesn't drain our energy so that we can finally take on the Grand Dragon, which will also help our economy once we're done with that. We've been waiting for the longest time to free up that particular system from the Shard's influence. So that's probably going to be my next goal, and definitely a goal. There's some random effects out in the galaxy's edge from that battle. That's going to be my next goal before we take a break from this series and jump back to Roma Galactica 2. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this one, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. New episodes are coming out every day at 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.